going on here. Basically, this is Brooklyn Center. This is the area where there have been protests over the last week or so after the shooting of Dante Wright, who was shot by Kim Potter, who says that it was that she believed that she was using her taser when she shot someone with her handgun. In any event, of course, the protesters are happy today because there was
who do so much work for this movement.
There was the guilty verdict in the trial of Derek Chauvin for the death of George Floyd, for which he was found guilty on second and third degree murder and manslaughter. But so the protesters are happy; they're not doing anything violent, and their stated intention is to not do anything violent. And with that, though, there is still an 11 p.m. curfew imposed, and so basically the purpose of what they're out here to do is that they're challenging the curfew. Theoretically, as of 11 p.m., which I guess is about right now, that all of them are theoretically out here illegally. Media is exempt, so I feel pretty confident that I'll be fine. But the question basically is, are the police, are the National Guard actually going to come out and put handcuffs on people simply for being outside? That's essentially the question. I think because of the sort of celebratory nature of what happened this afternoon, there really aren't that many people out here right now. I would say probably 50 civilians and maybe like 25 or so press. So we'll see what happens. I will say that I noticed that, at the actual police station, which is behind me there, that basically like in the last couple of minutes, like since I've been talking to you, there were policemen and guardsmen who were outside, and then they switched to go inside actually after the fire. So it is possible that they're going inside to like get ready for some kind of advanced or first curfew or something.
I don't know this guy here at all.
Oh god, hey, what's up? I had no idea you were on.
Recognize that guy?
That's nice. Hey, I just got here today, which, I mean, funny time.
I saw you go live a little. I was over at the square for a little.
I tried to go live there, but there was so many people. So I think this is my first live stream since being here.
Well, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, so I use an app that doesn't show me the comments now. So nice. I have no idea how they feel about me, you, or anything else that's going on. I don't know if the police would actually intervene.
I mean, it's passed already.
Technically, it's passed. I did notice that the police went inside, like at the, I think the exact like 11 p.m. Which makes me think that maybe they're like getting ready to like so I've seen this before in Philadelphia where like it was totally like everything was chill, and they're still doing the effect and the police would go through like
from the floor in the floor, which is your shit down, don't cause extortion, caution, we're coming for your head.
I'd be really shocked.
Every textbook read,
today would be a bad day to do that.
What we got you instead.
Very
Good shit, bro.
yeah, good to see you.
I'm around. Are you here?
I had no idea when I bought the tickets that he would be found guilty on all charges right before I came here. But so I actually am set to be here until next Tuesday.
Oh wow, okay.
So I don't know if I'm going to sit for that long, but for now.
Well, shit's not over. Today might be a little fun, but shit's not over.
That's true, yeah.
The work starts again tomorrow.
Yeah. The question though is where? Like, I feel like there might be some people that kind of migrate to like Ohio.
The next one goes out to our friends at Native Lives Matter.
Oh no!
Whose land?
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Whose land?
That's it! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Whose land? Whose land? Whose land? Native lives, they matter here. Native lives, they matter here. Native lives, they matter here. I do want my indigenous family to get their land back.
Which is rightfully ours. Years from now, my people will be forced to live in mobile homes and reservations. Your people will wear cardigans and drink highballs. We will sell our bracelets by the roadside. You will play golf and enjoy hot hors d'oeuvres. My people will have pain and degradation. Your people will have stitches. The gods of my tribe have spoken. They have said, do not trust the pilgrims.
By the film industry.
They've probably got a lot of orders to stay them up behind that line right now. Does this have to at least show you viewer count? Oh, it doesn't.
So I have someone message me the viewer count because it doesn't show, because it's not like it's only a week, so
still doing good though, right?
At least 600 on Facebook and then like nobody on the other.
Which is rightfully ours.
My Facebook following something else. I don't know. I don't know what they're on.
My people will be forced
I get all of my following on my Twitter and almost none on my Facebook, so
I'm going to drink highballs. We will sell our bracelets by the roadside.
It's weird how like I've been essentially posting the same content on all my social media, but like my Twitter is like very slightly like people following and like Facebook following is like
My tribe has spoken. They have said, do not trust the pilgrims.
one's been asked like 100 times, like because people seem to interact with you. Is he a right hander? How far right is he?
Give yourselves a hand for hanging out here and holding space for Dante Wright. Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name!
You got your vaccine yet?
yes. Yeah, I got it 2 weeks ago, so I think I'm like it was the chance.
You didn't get the blood box, so you're good.
I did have pretty nasty side effects for like a day and a half. Like I
was down for 2 days.
I had like a very, very serious like it was, but I was expecting it. So like I wasn't like worried or stressed about it. I was just like I've made my peace and this is gonna happen. You know, whatever. Right. So I had like crappy fever. Like I'd be very alarmed if I didn't get a vaccine at that like but after that
But like having the early grave doesn't mean you don't get the new variants. So you gotta get
I don't care about people living on that land.
Well, the religious disaster, it's something, it's like genocide as something for Indian people.
Yeah, there's a lot back there. That group of them is so good.
Native lives that matter here. Native lives that matter here. Native lives that matter here. Native lives that matter here.
What?
Just like they've doubled in size on the outside.
Yes, they've doubled from 3 to 7.
Oh yeah.
Charge her with fucking murder.
Okay, before we turn it over to Coalition Justice Movement leaders, big shout out. Happy 420, everyone. It's now an even better celebration because we got victory for George Floyd. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to some peoples here.
All right, Peter. How about the sound guy all the time for this movement, Peter? Yeah, Peter. All right, folks. My name is Jaylani Hussein. Just wanted to greet you all with a greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessing be upon you today, this evening, tonight, and the rest of your day. It is, as Peter said, it is 420.
Jaylani, smoke some, Jaylani! Smoke some, Jaylani!
No. But I want to just say to all of you, this day and this night will be remembered by many people. And they will be talking about the 12 jurors in the community that for the first time in a very long time, first time perhaps in many places in this country, where justice was served inside of a courthouse.
Let's go!
And we will be mentioned that in a small flyover state of Minnesota, the worst form of police brutality happened. And it moved the world, it moved our state, but it moved the world too. And we all, in our deepest spaces, were hoping for this day to come, and it did come. But we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied until all 4 officers are charged and convicted and sentenced. And we are gathered right here, right now, because 20-year-old Dante Wright was killed in Brooklyn Center while the world was watching the trial of Derek Chauvin. And I know many of you saw the video today. You saw the look of Derek Chauvin's face. He was shocked because his white privilege did not protect him at all. And not only that, but also he was so shocked because in this country, I think I heard a statistic that maybe 7 out of thousands, 15,000. Think about this, 15,000 killings since 2015. Only 7 police officers have been found guilty. What does that tell you about our justice system? It's evil and it does not work. But to see his face look like he couldn't believe it, well, he better believe it now. And you know what? He still didn't believe it until they put the cuffs on him. He probably didn't see that coming. He thought he was gonna go home. He thought he was gonna go home and wait for that the sentencing, but guess what? That sentencing was denied. He turned around, they put the cuffs on him, and they walked him in. And there's a community that he doesn't want to belong to that he's going to, by the way. And they're gonna recognize him, and they know him. Because that community is the community that he has been abusing for a very long time. How many black men in this country have been wrongfully incarcerated? How many black men have been wrongfully incarcerated? How many black men in this country today are incarcerated for taking some batteries for their family, food for their family? How many black men in this country are incarcerated because they look like some suspect? How many black men in this country today are in prison for 35 years for thought? For
thinking about something. For thinking about something. How many black men in this country right now are in prison
hoping and praying that someone will look at their case. And how many black men in this country today, even in those prisons right now, are celebrating a little bit of joy because one of the officers, yes, today, many of those black men in prison are celebrating, they're celebrating that Derek Chauvin is no longer not only a police officer, but he's guilty as hell.
Yeah!
And so, guilty. Man, that was sweet. That was sweet to hear that. It's sweet to hear that. And you know what? We're not satisfied, y'all.
Hell no.
We're not satisfied because of look at that. Look at that. We're not satisfied because Dante Wright's killer has yet to be charged for what she did, was murder.
That's right.
She murdered Dante Wright.
That's right.
If a black man can make an accident and we call it murder, then a white woman who makes an accident is also a murder.
That's right. It was no accident.
It was no accident. We know that. It was no accident.
That's right.
The moment she saw that he was black, he was already dead.
Yeah.
The moment that she saw he was black, he was already dead. And think about the most hurtful irony that George Floyd cried for his mother and Dante Wright had his last word with his mother.
Yeah, that's right.
What does that tell you? Dante Wright knew something was happening, and the only person he found solace in was the voice of his mother. And this tells you that there is something that is coming right now. I don't know what it is, but something is coming because I think we're making a corner. We're turning a corner. It may not be a very wide corner, but we're making an edge to a very long road of injustice in this country. You know, people all over the world today are celebrating guilty, guilty, guilty. And we all should be celebrating guilty, guilty, guilty. But we want more guilty. We just got our appetizer. We want more guilty. We want guilty for the system that continues to kill black and brown and indigenous people across this country. We need justice. If we got justice inside the courthouse, we want justice outside the courthouse. Because there are too many people hurt. And the same police departments that killed George Floyd, that killed Dante Wright, that killed Adam Toledo, will kill again. I just heard that there was another killing today. I can't.
In Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. 15 years old.
15 years old.
They couldn't even wait the verdict to come out.
Micaiah Bryant.
Micaiah Bryant. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name.
Micaiah Bryant.
Say her name.
Micaiah Bryant.
The last thing I want to tell you, or one of the last things I want to tell you is, for many of you today, it's important that we not only stay in these streets, but it's even more important to continue to make this commitment toward justice. Thank you. We need to continue to make this, thank you, Peter. We need to continue to make that commitment toward justice. There's a lot of people who showed up since Sunday here. There's a lot of people who continue to show up in these spaces, but their heart is not in this fight. We need people that their heart is in this fight. And I'm going to tell you how you can have your heart in this fight. The way you have a heart in this fight is you fight for these families. These families, they always come out and they pour their heart out, talking about how they lost their loved ones. And we need to think about that. We need to empathize with them and be boots on the ground for these families. This has to end. And we need to not be satisfied in small victories like we see today. We need to demand a full systematic change and overhaul. Until we get that, we will always be chasing a hashtag. We will always be demanding a prosecutor to bring charges. We need this thing to end. We need the solutions that are going to prevent the next Dante Wrights. And we can do that. Because I'm going to tell you something. If Dante Wright was a young, white, affluent girl, she would not have been shot, neither stopped nor killed. The taser would have never come out. She would have been seen as a human being. But Dante Wright was not seen as a human being by this killer cop. I'm telling you that. And that's the truth. And if people don't think that that's the truth, wake up. Wake up. George Floyd was killed in 9 minutes and 29 seconds by a man who put his entire body so that George Floyd could not breathe. His entire body. So tonight will be a night in history. It will be a night that many people will think about and remember. And if you have been boots on the ground, you should recognize that you have done something. Because this victory did not come inside that courthouse. This victory came because we were boots on the ground. People here in Minneapolis, people in St. Paul, all over the state, people all over this country came out. The whole world came out for George Floyd. The whole world came out for George Floyd. And that people that continue to put pressure here on the ground in Minneapolis are the people who should recognize that that victory belongs to you. You delivered that victory. And I was glad to see George Floyd's family today smiling for the first time. To see a little bit of breathe, yeah, they can breathe and have a little bit of relief. But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, in this moment right now, it's about us. If we are committed, if we are united, if we are focused, let's keep our focus here because they're trying to distract us. If we are committed, if we are united, if we are focused, we will overcome this system and those who support those who have been standing next to it. And many people today, by the way, did not come out into the streets. Many people did not come out for George Floyd. Many people watched it just like they're watching right now at home. Many people have been seeing this. And what I remind those people is what Dr. King told us. In the end, we will not remember the silence of Donald Trump and police, killer cops, and those who supported them. No, we will remember the silence of those who say or claim or think they're on our side.
Say it.
Because if you have not used your money, your resources, your mouth, your organization, your faith community, if you did not use your network, if you did not use your abilities for this movement, you can't claim it, first of all. And if you did not do that, you are part of the oppressor.
Say it.
You are supporting the oppressor. Your silence is violence. Yes. So this moment, if you woke up just because of the verdict, or if you felt a little bit of anxiety today when you heard the verdict is coming out, and you were worried and worried and worried, I'm gonna tell you, welcome to living like a black person in America. Welcome to living like a black person in America. I'm not gonna say the business name, but I called the business today that was closing up, and the woman that I was talking to was literally about to cry. Because she's like, I gotta close this thing, we're closing down, and I felt really bad, because I was like, how are you so worried? I'm the one who should be worried. I'm a black man in America. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? But the reality is there's a lot of people in this country, a lot of wealthy people, by the way, were afraid today. But the reality is we got a little bit of justice, but I'm not satisfied. We should all not to be satisfied. But tonight we celebrate. Tomorrow we go to work, and we must demand justice by any means necessary, including being out here right now in this for this stupid curfew.
Say his name. 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 Dante Jr., we love you. Community love you.
Alright, so across the fence I can see that the National Guard are preparing shields.
He had an older brother. We love you.
Yeah, there's a lot of motion in the back. They're prepping shields, so I think they actually are going to come out and try to enforce the curfew. Based on shields being the main thing they're accumulating, I'm going to guess that they're going to attempt to make a shield line and then push this out like a plow.
It was an accident, but put yourself in their shoes.
I never looked that way. I was watching them the whole damn time.
Yeah. with the shield accumulation,
Now,
I'm guessing that they're going to come out and try to just plow this whole thing.
We know this was not no accident.
What?
Sorry?
We know
Feels like, yeah.
this was
I think
not
that's what they're
no
doing.
accident. We know this was not a coincidence. There's no way you can confuse something that weighs 22 ounces to something that weighs 8 to 9 ounces. A dominant versus non-dominant.
They don't get pissy at you
She
for
was
coming up close like
trained.
this, do they?
I don't know.
She was all the way up.
You look more like
26
Preston
years
than me,
old,
so
and y'all steady
you wanna
trying
give
to
it a
play
shot.
spear tactics on us.
I just don't want to be the reason they go.
We not bored. We love our community. We love our brothers and sisters. We love one another. So when you kill one, we gonna come out here and we gonna stand. And this is a common
Whatever they're
ground.
doing,
No matter
they're
who you are,
getting people
no matter
behind
what color you leave,
the building.
everybody
So
sitting
they're
there
leaving and going around so that whatever they're setting up is behind it.
They'll come like that way.
We tired. We tired. We burnt out. We exhausted.
All right, so
every activist to just do this off
just to
the
clarify what I'm seeing, it's kind of hard to capture on the phone here, but basically the police are, or looks like National Guardsmen and police are prepping whatever they're prepping kind of behind the building, like they were exiting and going
all
around
weekend.
where they were prepping shields.
136
Now it
people
looks
held all weekend. Let's talk about them.
some of them
Let's
are
uplift
stepping
them.
back
Understand
now.
how much trauma that would be.
But
I know a couple
it's only
people
about
got their
50
ribs hurt when
activists
they
here
got
in
tackled that nobody's
bubble,
talking
but a lot
about.
of movement
We
at
need
the
to
police
highlight
station.
these
So
victims.
I think
Well,
that
they out here
I don't know if
taking
it's a
care
matter
us.
of minutes
And
or if it's going to be a little
literally,
longer,
that's
but
why half of them not here.
I
They're
definitely
afraid.
think the police are going to
They
be
got
moving
chased.
in on them
They
soon.
got cornered. They got kicked in their thumb. Rubber bullets on sight. First night they came up running, spraying. And we eating all them bullets just to say stop killing us. We never afraid. We need justice for Dante Wright. That was not the due process. She's guilty. We need to speed this up. It shouldn't take no year in public humility to put the family in front of the TV and tell them they can't come into the courts because COVID-19, even though they all vaccinated, to make the whole world see this. It shouldn't have to come to this. It shouldn't have to came to this. We, as a community, demand more. The youth are struggling more than me. I'm hot. I'm mad. We need to convert this energy into something. The youth did a walkout. The youth is hurt. They have no space. We need a youth mental health and wellness center. I don't care who builds it. These youth need it. We have to continue to uplift one another. I love everybody who keeps coming out here and riding. I love the fact that he's kept his truck right here. He said, what? Skip curfew, let's go then. And he was with it. It takes us to have the spirit to encourage, to stand against these oppressors. The National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard. Go home. We out here, y'all. I love the community. Everybody speak to them. Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, man. George Floyd and his whole entire family, the community, the people, we deserve what we have heard today. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. But I want to remind everybody that we got to continue to be out here, boost the ground, pushing legislative changes for our community, uplifting our people and our organizations that's out here. We got plenty of organizations that's ready to step up to the plate and police our community. We don't need these motherfuckers. Excuse my language. We got CPAC. We got Twin City Justice for Jamar Clark. We got Family Supporting Families Against Police Violence. Nikema Levy Armstrong right here, Move for Justice. We have Care Minnesota. We have so many organizations out here, youth organizations as well. We gotta continue to uplift our brothers and sisters to make the changes that we need in our community. We gotta uplift our brothers that's in the legislators. John Thompson. Do anybody know him? We need to continue to uplift these brothers, man, and each one teach one. We need to each one teach one. If y'all don't know, man, I encourage everybody to look at these bills, man. We got Care Minnesota. We got 9 bills out here that we're trying to push. We got to continue to push. I don't know if y'all know, but if y'all get ticketed for protesting out here, they're gonna take away your benefits out here too. So we need to make sure that we stay focused on these bills that's out here that they're trying to slide underneath our noses as well. I'm not gonna say too much. Power to the people. I love my brothers and sisters, my community. I'm so happy, but again, this is just a small minor win for us. Justice for George Floyd, justice for all stolen lives. And then, yeah, man, we got to reopen all these cases. We need all these cases reopened. All of these cases reopened. From the Breonna Taylors, from Jaylen Brown, Kobe Heisler, Tamir Rice's, Walter Bumper Collins. We can keep on going, but we got to keep on saying the names, not let these people die, our brothers and sisters die in vain neither, man. So all power to the people, uplift our community, uplift our organizations that's out here pushing the changes for our people. Black Lives Matter Twin City, Black Lives Matter Minnesota, Black Lives Matter St. Paul. Please connect with some of those organizations and figure out what you can do to help our brothers and sisters out here. I love y'all. Cortez Rice.
I go to Metro State. Yeah, I'm studying Bachelor of Science. I'm trying to go into medical. That's what I really like. How about you? Come back here.
Hi, assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Mohammed Ibrahim. I'm with Care Minnesota. And really want to commemorate this night that this is the night that we all were thinking about for a very, very long time. And there was a lot of work that was put in to this night here tonight. But what got us to this night was not the politicians. What got us to this night was not the prosecutors. It was not the system. It was the people that got us to this moment. And I want to take a moment to just commemorate what the people actually had to go through to get us to this point. After George Floyd was lynched in front of all of us, in front of the cameras for the world to see, Mike Freeman came out and said that he did not think that there were going to be any charges, but that there was enough there to bring forth any charges. But the people came out, and the people demanded for charges to be brought forth. But before even that, the officers were not even arrested. They were roaming the streets, and the people demanded for all officers to be arrested. And then they were arrested, and yet we did not get any charges whatsoever. And then finally we got some bogus charges. And then the people demanded for the charges to be upgraded because we knew the charges were BS. We demanded for somebody else other than Mike Freeman to take the case. Then Attorney General Keith Ellison took the case and upgraded the charges. But it took a lot of different things to happen for us to get some charges brought forth. And then once the charges were brought forth, they did not want a jury of peers of George Floyd to prosecute, to be the jury of the case. They wanted people that look like Derek Chauvin, that maybe carry the same values as Derek Chauvin, to carry and become juries of the case. And they were trying to take the case away and out of Hennepin County and take it to an outside jurisdiction. But he died in Hennepin County, and people in Hennepin County should be the ones that get to determine the fate of Derek Chauvin. But the people made that happen. And we fought for those things to happen. And then finally, they said, you know what? The case gets to stay in Hennepin County. Right? But then again, they let the officers go, even though Derek Chauvin was a flight risk, heading out to what, I think it was to Florida or Mexico or whatever the case is. Right? But yet, well, all those things, say that again, brother? And they wanted to try it all together. But then that didn't happen. But all those things happened because of the people. And the people took to the streets. And that was a testament to what we all can do. But unfortunately, while that fight continued to happen, we lost many people during that time frame. From Dulal Eid to now Dante Wright and so many others. And that tells you that while the whole world was watching, the system was continuing to fail us. And we have to admit to ourselves, we can't lie to ourselves. We know that the system has deep roots in white supremacy, and it was never designed for us to win. So in order for us to dismantle the system, we have to be more than just not racist. We have to be anti-racist. We have to stand in the face of white supremacy. You know, a couple weeks ago, that there was a bill that was put forward to say that, hey, if you are a part of white supremacist groups, or you are affiliated in any way, you cannot become a police officer. And it came down to a party line vote, where the Republicans said, no, we can't do that. And the reasoning is because it was unconstitutional. Since when was saying no to hate unconstitutional? Since when saying, hey, we don't want people that are against black lives unconstitutional? That is ridiculous. And this is why we must continue to fight tooth and nail. And I really want to shout out Brother Cortez and so many other brothers here as well that put their bodies, and sisters that put their bodies on the line for us. Right? Getting hit with rubber bullets just so that we can exercise our voices. Just for us to say, stop killing black people. Stop killing black people. Stop killing black people. And today in Minnesota, we got a verdict that said that it was not okay to kill a black man. Today in Minnesota, a jury of George Floyd's peers said enough is enough. A jury of George Floyd's peers said we will not stand for this. But you must not get complacent in this moment. Yes, we saw a glimpse of accountability, because to me, that is still not justice. It is still not justice. Justice would have been if George Floyd was put guilty. That would have been justice. But today what we saw was accountability. We just saw a little bit of accountability. Today what we got was past justice. And we still got 4 other officers to go. We got the 3 that were there on the scene, as well as Kimberly Potter. And we need to get the Kimberly Potter charges to be upgraded to murder charges. We need to get murder charges. And I'm going to ask a very honest question. Where the Ohio people? Where the Nebraska people? Where's the Missouri people? They are willing to spend millions and millions of dollars to silence us. Millions of dollars to occupy us. Millions of dollars that come from our money and our taxpaying dollars just to pay them. Just to happen. All because don't want to so now, tonight, yes, we got a little bit of accountability. And the door is cracked. But it is up to us to open that door fully wide open. It is up to us to demand for all of the cases to be reopened. And it is up to us to make sure that citizens don't have to come over here and re-traumatize themselves just so we can get their voices heard. Just so we can say, hey, I need this accountability. Because we know we will make
a mystery. It is an ultra-constitutional efficient economy. The global police economy. The global system economy. Because the city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, and the United States have built it. Wrong with their country. And I was happy that they're children got guilty charges, but I'm not going to lie to you, I was really sad about it. The reason why I was sad is because we were celebrating something that should have been known. You know what I'm saying? And it's really easy to be personal because that shows us that we got so much work left to do. And yes, we're going to celebrate tonight, but tomorrow we're going to roll our sleeves and get back to work. Thank you. Next I can invite I don't even have words to describe the people in this song. But please come up with the civil rights attorney as well as the president of the Racial Justice Center.
Come on, y'all, we didn't get it now. We're standing out here getting cold. After what happened today, letting them know that, as Muhammad said, we're not satisfied. A 20-year-old young black man, unmet.
So again, there's a handful, maybe like 50 or so people like rallying, speaking right over there. The kind of interesting is the National Guard, behind the double-layered fence. There's a police station which has the National Guard, as well as the police themselves. There's been a lot of movement around that, basically. And basically the question right now is whether they're doing that in order to just leave, or if they're doing that to coordinate in order to make an effort to push on the activists and enforce the curfew. What I'm kind of fascinated by right now is that two people entered the National Guard truck right next to me and turned the engine on. And so I'm interested to see where they are going to go. This looks like a personnel carrier that it's empty. There was another one like it that was loaded up and then moved. So it's unclear whether that's going somewhere in particular. My feeling is that it is quite likely that they're moving to one side or another of the protest, then they would move in and flank them on one side or the other. But it's kind of hard to say.
I mean, think about that now. That is just, in my opinion.
They've got two columns of vehicles all out back along the alleyway.
Oh, really?
All full of people, and we just can't tell if they're getting ready to come around the corner or if they're leaving.
So these two seem to be waiting for something. They got in and turned on the engine, and she keeps getting out. See how the door's open? She keeps getting out and looking over at the police station like, are we doing it yet? Whatever the... Yeah. But again, I don't know if that means leaving.
There's two columns of cars back there now. All the Humvees that were on the other side, and a bunch more of these carriers.
If they're in some kind of a formation, my guess would be that they actually are going to fix this.
I mean, they're definitely in two columns.
They're all right.
But they're all in the cars.
This woman in the passenger seat looked really nervous.
Yeah, she don't want to be on camera.
No, she really did not like that.
There was resistance at every hand, like Muhammad said.
That's okay. She's the governor.
Right?
In a pandemic, y'all.
Voluntarily so.
Yep. At least 1 weekend per month for 2 weeks per year.
Right?
And then this stuff.
And when this stuff happens, yeah.
Showed up. And then the people who wouldn't leave their house because of the pandemic, who came out to stand up for George Floyd. And then we marched together from 38th in Chicago to the 3rd precinct. And that's not what happened out here. The police responded with force. They came out with flags and grenades, trying to tear gas people and trying to use force in riot gear against people who were hurting, against black youth who were hurting, against people who were demanding justice. So for me personally, I have lost confidence in Governor Tim Walz. Because he authorized Operation Safety Net. And he has the nerve to say that their use of tear gas
I know it sounds really meticulous that I'm like documenting every piece of this, but the two people in the personnel carrier here just interacted with a third person. The guy gave kind of like a fist bump kind of gesture. My friend Greg House, who's also an independent journalist, said that he went around the police station and he saw two columns of vehicles. So it does seem like they're establishing some kind of a formation or plan. It seems like they're waiting on some kind of plan or something like that. But again, I think it's a matter of time before they push in.
I know we can't even keep the normal routine. I know my system, nervous system is way off. I had to go to an event at George Floyd Square, and there was some monkeys there, and they wound up doing a meditation, and it helped reset my system nervous system. Because we're in the middle of a war zone, and it's very stressful. They call it PTSD. When you don't know, we out here, after their broken down curfew, at any point, they can come out here and try to smash and grab and use all the tactics that they use. But I'm just proud of y'all, and I know.
I'm going to check back in on the protest itself. But again, I think that probably sooner rather than later we might be looking at the police.
When the national and international media pack up and go home. And we're like, we don't care if the world is watching or they're not. We are watching. We live here. We demand justice. And we get justice. Justice for Dante Wright.
So my man's right here from the Innocence Project is in the building. As Mohammed has said about the deep roots of this system. Let's talk about that one time.
Peace. You know, I came down here today because the more I thought about it and the more I looked at this with Dante Wright, I came here the other night and stopped through, but I flew down here because I did 32 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. I just came home. My name is Darrell Jones. You Google that, I did 35 total. So you all are in prison right now and don't even know it. At least I knew it when I was in. Don't be concerned with that. That's what they do to us in the joint. It's the same thing. This is what they do to us in the joint. It's a factor of keeping us going. Now, nobody out here is not really thinking about this, but while y'all out here wilding out, if you look at all of us in the system, how many murders you hearing in the prison? You ain't hearing that. Because we click up, white, black, all that, mob dudes, all of us. We click up. I'm originally from Chicago. I'm telling you, right? I'm here in Boston and my peoples. We click up. You have no choice but to click up. You got so many movements. I was sitting in the joint like, wow, which slogan do you damn follow with these people, right? We saying defund the police. I'm gonna hip y'all, put you up on game, because this is all game. So I'm gonna give you good game. How you defunding somebody who is working overtime, getting more money than they ever got all across the country? That means more police and they have to stay overtime to keep the numbers up, so they're really getting paid. You want to defund them? Put you up on how you defund them. When the Commonwealth, in any state, when they get up, they say, in behalf of the Commonwealth, in behalf of the Commonwealth. That means that's your credit card. Now, if I go take my man's credit card and just go use that and he find out, he gonna be like, nah, bro, I didn't tell you to use that credit card because you know the PIN number. They hip to y'all's PIN number. They know how to get into your account because you're not paying attention. You ain't been gone long enough. You ain't felt enough. You're just moving, independently moving, but you ain't feeling your movement. You gotta feel your movement. When I'm telling you about what they do to you, be careful what they do. When they get up and saying Commonwealth versus Darrell Jones. I've been with everybody. My man Sean Ellis right now, we on the Netflix. That trial 4 is my man, that is us. I'm at the last part of it, waiting for mine. We're doing them all over. We gather, you all didn't even see that gathering. We had over 250 of us. 250 of us, innocent men, Central Park 5, all of us. National exoneration, I'm on that list. Those of us they can't question. So I was sitting here saying, oh, I wish they would come over and arrest this innocent man again. So we could talk about why. Because I'm talking about you, right? So when they saying that, you need a chant, so I'm gonna give you a chant that you need to be saying. Because they can't say in behalf of the Commonwealth if you all were saying, not in my name. You'd be taking your power back, because who is he representing if you're saying not in my name? If all of this state was in position to be saying one word, not in my name, do you all know what would happen? Then they would be in court saying in behalf of who? You would change the system instantly right there by taking your credit back. Don't get played, wake up. That's how they played me. And you need to be hip to something else. What happened to that white man in there was all white police that put me away. When you look me up, everything that could happen to a person happened to me. You know what opened the door for me to come home? For a white juror, Miss Embody, I give her back the love for that. She came forward and she said, oh, you know what, 32 years ago, she didn't want to die with it. She died as soon as I came out. She said, you know what I did? Not her. 3 white men on the jury. I had an all-white jury. You gotta remember, this is 85 when I'm going to joint. I was 18, I'm 54. Peep game. That's my whole life. You understand that? I don't get that back. No matter how much bread they give me, I don't get that back. When I was in that joint, I lost my grandmother that raised me, my brother, my son, not counting how many cousins. But the issue was, I never even got to say goodbye to none of them. They just knock on my door like knock, knock. You lost another one and go on about their way. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't share nothing. Don't let them play you out of what you could do. I was in a box. A lot of that time in that box in segregation, because I was doing this in jail. I won a United Nations award in jail. When I came out in Massachusetts, I worked for the mayor who just went to the White House.
Say that!
You understand that? Because they say, yo, that dude knows. I educated myself. In fact, I learned the law so much I got more people out of jail before I could get myself out.
Let's go!
You understand that? I peeped their game. You heard? So I know their laws. That's what you want to be hip to. That's what you better teach your kids. You understand that? Our brothers don't be knowing that. But you better get hip to your laws. When you out here celebrating 4th of July, I'm not saying don't celebrate it because it's white and black and all that other constitution. We already know it comes from a racist agenda. We're gonna keep repeating the same thing. We know that. No. Use the statute at the bottom of it. Look at the bottom. When it starts telling you life, liberty, and the right to happiness, then you have a right. The pursuit of happiness, you have the right. So you claim that right. If we're marching all over the country like we're marching right now and they've seen us all over the world down about what they did to us, then they stole a right. And we didn't even tell them that. We got every scholar in the world because they read a book on pain, because they read a book of time that I did, and you teaching in the college and you really think you telling them something? I lived that shit you making money off of talking about. I know what that's about. I ain't no Martin Luther King sucker. You know what that means? I feel it's a disrespect to Martin Luther King for anybody to be saying, yeah, Martin Luther King had a dream. I'll tell you what, I know a lot about comas. I was in one for 32 years. If I had a damn dream and y'all didn't wake it up in 32 years, I'm in a fucking coma. That's what we saying about him? That shit was supposed to have been woke up and we wouldn't have had this.
Say that!
This is about us.
Right.
We so focused on them and what we got to say to them. I don't need nothing from them but their light right now. So you can see what I'm saying. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you know what I meant.
That's right.
You understand? Listen, I'll tell you his night in prison. Now you're getting it from somebody that walked in there at 18. I know his night in prison. Now he gonna come in, right? Now this is the funny thing about prison. This is for my young brothers, man, my bangers. You understand that? The ones that get it in, that put it down. Let me hip y'all to something, man. I learned this real easy, watching everybody come in, every generation of gang. I've been everywhere. I done seen it all. I done met everybody you done watched on TV. Aaron Hernandez right over here where I'm at. I done met them all. You go to his Gladiator series and you'll see I'm the one they came to speak on that. You understand that? Listen to this carefully. Peep game, I'm not just talking to you. I didn't come out here, I flew out here, and I've been speaking at the bigger places in the CNNs and doing what I'm supposed to do. but I'm supposed to be here too.
Yep.
You dig?
Yep.
I'm supposed to be here too.
Yep.
Wherever there's a light, we're gonna get that light. There's a whole bunch of us innocent men and women across the country. I speak for us. I speak with us. Others speak for us, speak with us. We got a nation, right? We ain't got to be telling those stories when my brother was standing telling you. That's how unaware we be. In your name, they put me in jail for my whole damn life. And I can walk around and you don't have no idea who the hell I am. That's why I said he got a fair trial. Because everybody that's in prison like me, that are held down, I didn't have no limelights.
That's right.
I didn't have nothing. No investigator, extra money, stop the judge, hold this up, wait a minute. I didn't have none of that shit.
Right.
So we actually gave him a fair trial, so we don't never have to hear from him to get one of those. If he's telling you that, I'll come back. You understand that? Because I know about not getting one. I'm the only dude in my state since 1967 to sit in the prisoner's docket by itself a car and a half away, and my lawyer spoke for me and I never said a word. I never even knew. You understand that? And then I got a jury saying from day one, yeah, whatever, he black. I was done from the beginning. You understand that? You better look the case, you'll be there. Anybody that can knock my case out in a week, when you start Googling me, call me. You ain't gonna be able to do that, because they did everything you could do. And I didn't even know. Now you wanna know the sad part about it? Now you're gonna be able to comprehend this. Because you know the saddest part about me doing that time? Because I didn't do it, whoever shot the dude, they shot him, popped him, and broke. Nothing else. Now he's draped in jewelry. So when Scarface was out, he's from Cuba, and this dude right here was the biggest drug dealer going, and he's draped with jewels, got his car, got drugs, and somebody just walk up on him and pop him and run off. Well, I'm from the hood. We don't just pop nobody and run off. I came to get something. Change, we gonna snatch, we gonna get something. They were behind it. Because right after my case, the man that's supposed to be in charge of all of that, who became the chief of police, during the whole time, bro, he was sniffing cocaine for 5 years. Richard Sprouse, look him up. Sniffing cocaine, they were stealing it. They were stealing it. And what happened in '85 when they got me and got him, he was a couple of months, he had been going for a year saying he was innocent on something. And the police was doing something with him. And what happened, the feds came and basically told them in '85, yo, we're gonna need all that cocaine. And they were like, cocaine, yeah, that y'all been holding since the '67. They never used an evidence room, they were taking it home since '67, bro. So now the feds are there telling them, yo, we're gonna need that cocaine, where they gonna get it from? Where they gonna get it from? You think they just had it in their house big man? Wake up, wake up. You want something out here, take it from you. You better start telling them not your name, that's like that college, like a home. Now in my name, you won't be holding this. I'm gonna flip that back to you. Congo versus Visa, you get my numbers up. You heard? I can get my numbers up. But that's not gonna go in like that. Listen, this is nice, and I'll continue with that. When you walk in there, everything you think is out for, bro, but again, one more time, you do all of that. Love, all of that. They want all of that. Now, I had to think on it. Like, yeah, everybody comes here, you was coming in great. By the 90s, coming in, that was coming in, they get the paper. You know what I'm saying? here's the point. Do you know in the protected country, y'all know there's a PCs and rats and restaurants called the worst they call them, right? They will turn on him. So all night, right now, they're yelling for him. They're gonna say that all night. They go at him all night, so the rest of the time in prison he's be targeted. Mentally just targeted. All night when he's trying to sleep, they banging on that wall. Like, now how we doing? You understand? That's his life right now, right? But I look at him, man, like yesterday's news. You don't make him today's news. We done with you next. If you ain't on next, man, you ain't in the race. You understand that? Ain't nothing wrong with everybody playing their lane, man. Listen, everybody's not a speaker, everybody's not a reporter, everybody's not a doctor. You understand that? All of us are not that, man. If we pick our lanes and get down together collectively, if somebody would have told everybody out here, man, you know what? We're gonna build a giant George Floyd building, or junk, if we can make it into that, instead all we want everybody to do is drop $1 in there. All your visitors and everybody else, so we can build something in your community. Ding, ding, get your paper back. And I tell them about me, get your paper back. Because if they took $45,000 a year and turned it into $50,000 a year, if they took that much money, that was your taxpayers' money, right? So, now, what's fraud? If they didn't get the right man and they got your paper, why y'all ain't getting your paper back? Tell them to give you that money back so you can put it in the schools. Every innocent man around the country start telling them the money you took for our taxpayers' money, that was not the guys, that would be fraud. If you keep our money, we need our paper back, we're gonna build schools. That didn't let all innocent people come out and tell them about it. You heard? Wake up, man, don't get played. You know that black and white game? Let me hit you all with something about that right there. Only babies concerned with colors. That's why you keep doing grow up with blue crayons. Green, blue,
excuse
red,
me, sir.
Right?
Soldier.
You all don't got time for that. Because let me explain something to the white people so you understand clearly. When you hear the word nigger, we know that's what they call us. Right? But when you ever heard white trash, when they come up with white trash, that was other white people putting them aside because they messed with us. So y'all under the gun as white trash. So you rock with us if we are. If you were in a position where they thought we were trash, yo, you ever see that antique roadshow where they find something super valuable? Y'all probably the most valuable thing on the planet. Get hip to that. Peace, love. Darrell Jones, D-A-R-R-E-L-L, Jones.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Ain't nothing you can do to take back time like that. Can't nobody speak to that. If there's other voices over here, it's that time. We need to air out more voices. Nitty, come say something, my brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I just got through watching the video in the car. I gotta go home and do some elevating. I gotta contact the people in Ohio. It's gonna be a rough one. It ain't gonna be a easy, clean cut. Excuse me, y'all. No disrespect. Yo, no disrespect, man. Yo. Y'all right here behind me. Black man. Yo. You all want some of this? Anyway. Yo.
We got minivan soldiers rolled up. Hey, soldier, you roll up in a minivan? Really? Hey, get up out of here, man. It's time to go home, man. It's time to get up out of here, man. Go back to
Yo. Y'all put stop, bro.
Let's talk.
I know I'm talking about Black Lives Dying out here.
Hey, no
Y'all just stop. Y'all stop for a second, please.
Fist up or no? Y'all with us or against us? Fist
I
up
don't play that disrespect.
or not? Just a snuggie? All you got is a snuggie, bro? Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you motherfuckers, man.
Yo, so
sit up in your little tank. Hey, what do you think, sir? Justice served or not? You can't hear me? It's English. It's called English. Speak this language. Hey, you. Hey, mister, I got a strap with no clip. Mr. Strapless clip.
We gotta be a real true justice. We can't get justice
out here.
This
is all them.
We gotta get justice until we get justice. Okay?
That's them.
We got a lot of problems. It's not wrong with black people. Poverty causes crime, not black people. Okay? They want to confuse you. They want to tell you there's something wrong with us as a people. It's the conditions that we under that make us act the way that we act. Every race of people that fall into the same conditions that we are in act the same way. When we move into the suburbs, and get the same education as white people, we act the same way they act. We go to the same schools, and we actually have better scores than them, to be completely honest. You know what I mean? We excel when we're in the same situation. We're the only race of people that actually rise up out of poverty. There is no other race of people that rises out of poverty but black people. Out of all the oppressed races, we're leading the way for all the races that are oppressed. With politicians, with celebrity, with financial goals, and with even fighting. And we got the heart to fight for everybody in the world. If the police was to kill a white person, black people are gonna be out here marching for y'all too. Not the other races, I'm just being honest. That's how our heart is. That's why we need to be protected by y'all, okay? Because when we get changed for black people, it's gonna be changed for all people, okay? They're not gonna write laws for black people. They're gonna write laws for all people. Even though we're getting changed for black lives to matter, they're gonna write laws that change lives for everybody, okay? They're not just gonna write laws for black people. None of those laws are gonna say, okay, black people get this, black people get that. All the law changes that you're gonna get are gonna be for y'all too. If something happened to y'all that's unjustly done by that police force back there, then y'all are gonna get the same afforded rights that we gonna get. Because when the government do something to y'all, they don't give a fuck about y'all neither. When it comes to that. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being real with y'all. White people at the bottom, they don't respect y'all. They feel like y'all wasn't supposed to fall off the slavery. Y'all all got properties and houses and shit. And the white people that fell off, they don't respect y'all. Let's be real. So the white people that's at the bottom with us, they have cut y'all off. Y'all are the same as us to them in their eyes. Y'all got a little privilege because y'all white, but we all eat crumbs underneath their table at this point from the government. Y'all don't have nothing better than me. You might own your house, but you live next door to me. You might own your car, not lease mine, but we driving the same shit. You cannot move out of a community where I live. You understand what I'm saying? So all of y'all white people that have white friends that think they have some actual privilege that don't really exist, it's time for us to unite at the bottom and come together and fight for the changes for us. Because when y'all fight for us, we gonna turn around and fight for y'all. Y'all understand that? At the end of the day, we need change for black people, but we know the realistic wars between the rich and the poor. Y'all all realize that, right? Ain't no rich white people out here just marching around with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with y'all, okay? It's white people that feel like, I've been through some shit too. You know what I'm saying? Be real with y'all. It's some white people out here that feel like they've been through some shit, but still respect us because they know it ain't shit compared to what we go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we keep that mutual respect, we will always have a world that we live in where we all can communicate with each other. We can all live in this world where we protest, where we all treat it equally. Black people don't treat white people fucked up in the protest world. White people don't treat black people fucked up in the protest world. We have to get the rest of the world to understand this language that we have with each other. And once we leave this place, we go to the ugly world of racism that exists. That's why we love being out here. That's why you love being out here, why I love being out here, because inside of our own little bubble that we have created, there is no racism that exists inside of this bubble. And when a racist white person come in this bubble, white people remove them for us. So that's what y'all need to do in y'all real life. When y'all dads and y'all wives and y'all husbands that y'all laying with that y'all know are racist because y'all have changed, y'all need to do the same thing y'all do at the protest and eliminate them out y'all lives or make them change. That's the only way they're gonna change. They're not gonna change because my black ass up here talking about white people. They only gonna change if you talk about white people. They only gonna change if you stop spending money with white people. They only gonna change if you stop doing business with white people. That's how white people change. That's what we truly need. You come out here every goddamn day and march with us, but if you don't change white people that's racist, that we can't change, then you're not doing your fucking job, okay? And you come out here, support us, you don't have a voice here, but when you go home, your white voice is to change white people. It's to amplify our black voices. You take your white voice and you go amplify my black voice in areas where my black voice not respected. You get what I'm saying? Or can't go. And as long as you do that, we can start to begin to get change. At least we will be able to create a society where the people that don't comply to what we're talking about are eliminated. Let me tell you how that's real. When we walk down the street now and do this and put a fist up, white people scared. They ain't never been scared of this before. They ain't never been scared of. White people will throw their fist up and don't even believe in Black Lives Matter now. When have you ever known in history white people to have to comply to black shit? For real. Walking down the street. All along history, white people would never say, fuck you, fuck what you doing, fuck black people. Our whole existence. But now, they have to be afraid of us when we march down the street with our fist up. They're afraid of this fist now because it's too powerful. Okay, we have power now. We have so much power now together because y'all are marching with us. That's the difference now between the old 60s and what's going on now. They're afraid because when you have white, black, Hispanic, LGBTQ, Asian, every race of people, who are they working for? If all of us are out here in the streets as people together, who are the police working for? Who is our government working for when everyone is represented in this space? It's not just black people marching anymore. Every race, every sex is represented in this space of people that are marching. So when he talked about the Commonwealth, that's what he was talking about. We are the Commonwealth. We are the people. You know what I mean? Even when we go to a Trump rally, you know how you on the right side? Because all the people white and all the people behind you is mixed races. That's it. It's very simple. You go to a Trump rally, it's white people versus the rest of the world. You ain't even got to know what's going on. You can just walk up and you know exactly where to stand. Like, I'm going to stand here with the world. It ain't that fucking hard. You know what I mean? It's white people that's mad right now that we got accountability for what happened. There's white people going all over. They're like, fuck black people, fuck Black Lives Matter, fuck this shit, this some bullshit, all this other shit, Blue Lives Matter. I love the Smurfs too. You know what I'm saying? I love the Smurfs too, okay? I'm for real. So I appreciate Blue Lives. I love the fucking Smurfs, okay? I don't know what the fuck a blue life is, but besides the Smurfs, you know what I'm saying? So shit, I agree with them on that. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we stick together. We got to make sure that we transition. Hopefully today is a day that people don't take as a real celebration because we did not get a victory. You don't get a victory for something you're supposed to have. Okay? This is something that was not supposed to happen. Like I called Cortez and I told him, I can't celebrate because George Floyd is dead. I can't. You think Dante family celebrating right now? You think the young lady in Ohio family celebrating right now? Right after we got the verdict, 10 minutes later, they killed the young lady in Ohio. The police ain't taking a fucking break. They're not taking a break. They didn't kill somebody every day since the trial started. Over 40 people have been killed since the trial started, literally. The police have killed somebody every single day since the trial started. And when you look at it, I was telling somebody on my live the other day, I was live and I was telling them, I said, look at the cities where it happened at. Chicago, again. Minnesota, again. Portland, again. I said, is it ironic that it keep happening in the same places? And then Casey Goodson in Columbus, Ohio. And then Columbus, Ohio, again. Okay? Something is wrong with the system. Apparently, if it keeps on happening the same ways in the same exact spots. Okay? The places it don't happen is the places that have overwhelming white people. Let's be real. You don't hear about that shit in Indiana that much. You see what I'm saying? Warsaw, Indiana, and all them other little places and shit. All the places that have like a majority of white people. You know why? Because when they pull their kids over, they tell them go home. They pull them over drunk, they call their parents, hey, your son out here drunk. Come get him, he going home. In these little white cities, they know each other. Just like we know each other in these white communities, they know each other. That's why they love their little white bubbles. They love, every state have like 2 black cities in it, and that's it. Rest of it is white bubbles everywhere, white bubbles everywhere. Where they can be as racist as they want to be, where Black Lives Matter ain't got to fucking matter or exist. And inside of these white bubbles, they able to govern ourselves. We need a black bubble. We need our own little area of space where we can have our own police, where we can have our own mayor, where we can have our own stuff. We need to take one of these small white cities. I'm being real with you. I walked across the country and I realized it. The sheriff there stopped I'm gonna tell y'all a true story and I didn't even mean to go into this. There was a guy that tried to hit a protester when we was marching from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Washington, D.C. The guy tried to hit one of the protesters. The sheriff was watching. They was like, we can't arrest him because it's out of our jurisdiction. We have to wait for the local police to come arrest him. Okay? So the dude was just standing there. We waiting on the local. We like, why you can't arrest? You can't handcuff him or nothing. Nope. We got to wait for the local police. We know the local police gonna be his guy because this is a little ass town. So when we leave this little ass town, we figured nothing gonna happen. My friend was mad. So they walked the guy past my friend and he punched him in his face like boom, boom, twice, right in front of the sheriff, right? Boom, boom. They tried to grab him and say, we want the same privilege you just gave that white man because it's not your jurisdiction to arrest my friend. And they bought that shit. I was shocked, but they bought it. I was shocked. They bought it though. I was like, hold on, bro, we want the same, just like you treated that white man. And they didn't know what to do. They was confused. And by the time the local police came, he was gone. We put him in the car, he drove off and all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? But the point was, I realized that they was able to tell the state and the government, you can't come over here. We have our own police. If we have our own police, if they don't want to give us our own police department, we need to start acquiring land. We need to start acquiring things. We need to have, white people have little towns across the country that they own, that they operate, where they're the police, where they're everything. Imagine if I pull this son over, I'm calling you, bro. I'm not gonna take your son to jail. I'm not gonna take your son to jail. I'm not gonna take your son to jail. If they don't want to give us these rights and these laws, we have to start looking to a future of having our own shit and just keeping them off our shit. Of having our own shit. Making our own towns, voting for our own mayors, creating our own police services, and using their system against them. Using their way that they do things against them. That's what I specialize in. I antagonize the police with their own fucking laws. I'm the dude that be like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And you feel like, damn, I gotta smack this dude's hand. I do everything I can legally within their system to make them see that your shit is fucked up. I can stand here, I can protest, I can break curfew, I can do this, and they be so fucking mad that they stab me one day. Body slam me and stab me one day, and I'm suing them for that. Because I ain't do absolutely nothing. But the point is, as long as we have two ways to do things. We can ask them for change, we can take change, or we can make change. All right? I'm not asking for shit. I'm here to take change. They're not gonna give it to us. So if they don't want to give us the change we're trying to take, we have all the resources right here. We got computer people out here. We got 1 million views worth of streamers out here. We got medics out here. We got carpenters out here. We got people that can build shit out here. We got plumbers out here. Lawyers be walking around. You know what we never do? Sit around and ask each other what we do. Sit around and ask each other what we specialize in. Sit around and say, hey man, what do you do? One time this dude came, said, man, I'm a lawyer, I got plenty. I was like, dang, my lawyer that I have that has my lawsuit, he's like, yeah, man, I marched with you like 4 times. I'm like, god damn, I never even knew that. And he's a high-priced lawyer that represented like one of the bucks. So when I got stabbed, of course, they jumped on my situation, you know, to sue the city. But the point was, I never even knew he was marching with us. We have power in the group that we have right now. Not just the people that's speaking, not just the politicians that we introduce, like, I'm the politician, I'm from this place, but the people that we got humbly walking around just marching every day, that we don't know are singers, that are talented, that are like all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We got real life hackers out here, let's be real. We have everything that we need if we actually just communicate with each other to either build something new or destroy what they got. We just have to be really strategic, and we got to do exactly what that man said. We got to use our strengths. Everybody not the speaker. You get what I'm saying? Everybody not going to be. Martin Luther King had all the intangibles. And I ain't trying to say this like it's music or nothing, but he had a look, he had a sound, he had a voice, he had a thought process. He was quick on his feet when stuff happened in front of him. You couldn't just trip him up with conversation. You have to have all of those things sometimes in order to be a great leader or a great speaker. And just because you can write the stuff, you could be a ghostwriter for great speakers. I'm just being real with you. A lot of people think they have to be the voice or the face of the movement, and that's not even what it is. Everyone has a place in this movement, okay? Find your strengths, tell people what you're strong at, and then build from there. And as long as we continue to build and build each other up, we'll be able to create an environment where we won't need nothing that they got, even if they don't give us that shit. That's what I'm with. I'm with saying, look, we're gonna take this shit from you, or we gonna use your fucking shit against you and make sure that y'all can't take the shit that we gain on our own. All right? I love y'all, I love my city, I love the people of Minnesota. Support the activists to get more people down here.
So Peter gotta go. Y'all gotta go home. We love you, Peter. So Peter gotta go home. So thank you so much, everybody. And everybody give Peter a round of applause. All right, thanks everybody.
We love y'all.
Love y'all, everybody. All part of the people.
Fuck Donald Trump, baby. Fuck Donald Trump, baby. Fuck.
So that was interesting in that there was a lot of police movement behind the fence, I suppose. It seemed like they had prepared some kind of a formation. My friend who went around to the other side of the police station actually said that there was like a 2-columned police vehicle stack. So it seemed like they were prepped. It could be simply that they were preparing and then decided not to do it. So with that, I suppose like, share, subscribe, and I guess I'll cut the live stream here. I might be here a couple more minutes in case anything else does happen by surprise. But it seems like for tonight, the police simply did not enforce the curfew. There's an 11 p.m. curfew here. Protesters spoke out. I think we're at about maybe midnight. I don't have a clock on here, but my guess is about midnight local time. And so at an hour and a half past curfew, police are doing nothing about it. So I would definitely call that a win for the protesters, both in the lack of curfew enforcement as well as the guilty verdicts in the Derek Chauvin trial. So with that,